All right, good evening, Panther fans. We're here with Coach Fuller for this week's edition of the Coaches Show. We're at Which over here down from the high school, and really appreciate Which's sponsorship of the Coaches Show this year. We couldn't do it without them. Make sure you get by the restaurant here and tell them you appreciate it. Coach, let's talk about Trinity last week. Maybe start with the pregame.
Okay.
I know, it rained, of course, prior to the game. Any impact on game preparation or just sort of business as usual?
No, I really don't think the weather had any impact on the game whatsoever. Our warm-up was normal. The balls weren't very wet. If it rained during the game, I didn't really even notice it. That didn't have anything to do with it.
No impact.
No impact on the game.
All right. Let's break down maybe first half, second half.
Okay.
Thoughts as we rolled into it. We got off to a pretty good start. Certainly on the defensive side, I think we had 3 or 4 stands where we held them, which was pretty good when you looked at the size of that offensive line. But what's your thoughts as the game got started?
Yeah, I thought defensively we came out and our guys battled, and we knew they would. We also knew that as big as they are, if they run it enough times, I think they ran it 60 some odd times. If you run it that many times with those big old guys against a smaller defense, even though we're battling, they're gonna get some yards eventually. I think it couldn't have started off any better for us. The way it worked on defense, Jacob got the big interception early there in the first quarter, and then offensively we came out. We felt confident going into the game. We just didn't really execute like we had hoped to. I would say this, that Trinity did a better job than anybody's ever done as far as mixing up their coverages and what they were calling defensively, stunting at the right time. Almost felt like they knew exactly what we were calling, and they dropped 9 a lot of times when we were passing and blitzing into a run when we called a run. And, they did a great job with 2 weeks to prepare, and that was frustrating for me. First play of the game went exactly as to plan. We got 30-something yards, and then the second play we got the interception that kind of changed at the last second, and we didn't see it. I thought we did a good job to keep him from scoring on that play, and then still defensively we held up. We did a good job the whole first half. We put ourselves in a hole on a punt that we didn't field. We were worried that they might go for it. And then didn't get him out of there, gave him another touchdown right before half. But I don't think effort had very much to do with it. Our defense played hard. Offensively, our kids were given effort. We just didn't execute like we would have liked to.
Right. So you get into halftime, close game still at that point. What's the message to the players?
Well, at halftime we were everybody was positive. We just felt like we needed to fix a few things, and truthfully, if we play on offense, if we just score a little bit on offense, the way we were playing defense there, then the longer the game goes, the more pressure that puts on Trinity to try to throw or score faster or whatever. The thing we didn't give up this year, which we have in the past, is the long touchdown or a big run or a big pass or something like that. So I was pleased with that, but we just we went in really reminded them that hey, it didn't Geyer, we were down 10 points just like this. It's not insurmountable by any means. We're just going to need to do something, do things better, and it couldn't have started better. We got a big kickoff return down there close, and then we just couldn't get it in. We settled for a field goal, and then they really just played keep away. We only had the ball 3 times in the second half.
Right.
They kept it forever. We couldn't get them off the field. They didn't score quick, but we couldn't get them off the field either.
Yeah.
Our second time with the ball, we had a big play, and what looks like we're going to have first down on the 25 going in ends up being that we stepped out of bounds and then got a blocking late, hit after the whistle. So it's 3rd and 25 from our own 30-yard line instead. We ended up having to punt. And the next time we had the ball, we scored, and out of reach by the time we would have gotten it back.
Right. What post game? attitudes. What's the first part of this week? What's everybody bounce back from the disappointment?
It's obviously it's disappointing. And I pointed out some things after the game that we've had good effort most of the time at practice from the majority of the people. At times we're getting, it's not any one person on any one particular segment or day of practice. Maybe it's one or two players for 10 minutes at practice, not completely focused. And I just pointed out how that can really affect our team, affects our timing, and it affects our overall execution, and challenge some guys who are giving effort and are focused all the time to try to encourage their teammates to do that. And I think the best time to say something like that is when they are hurting. There's tears in their eyes. They're upset. We're all upset that we didn't win the game. So let's remember how this feels and put this past us and come back next week with a resolve to get better and not let that happen again, regardless of who we're playing, whether it's Trinity or Grapevine, which I'm thankful we're playing a big rival this week, or any of the teams on our schedule the rest of the way. We've got to strive daily to improve. I think they took that to heart. Saturday was a tough day, but everybody's still down. But the sun did come up. Not much. It was pouring down rain, but it was light. And then I think Sunday, at least for me, Sunday was when I woke up thinking, all right, let's go to work and let's get ready to go. And I think with some of the things we talked about, we changed some things that we can change as coaches to create an environment that's a little easier to focus and a little more time to prepare before we head out to the field. Make sure everybody's there. There's just some little things with procedures and stuff like that. But I think, in my opinion, Monday was the best practice we've had all year, top to bottom, start to finish. The best one we'd had this entire year, which we had been, like I mentioned earlier, we hadn't really had a practice where I thought everybody all day was on task, really just trying to get better. So hopefully that will carry over, and we'll have a good performance this week.
Good. So let's switch gears to Grapevine. Okay. Big crosstown rivalry, obviously. We're the away team this year, which, we don't like that very much. Right. But what's your thoughts as we head in here to Grapevine Friday night? We talked a little bit about preparation. Anything special that needs to be done to get ready for that game?
Well, I think with a big rivalry game, it's funny you mentioned being on the other side. I have great memories of the visitor side over there, and I think a lot of our players do. We talk all the time. It really doesn't matter where we play. So it is what it is. We're going to be in our white jerseys, and we're playing a team where a lot of our guys know a lot of their guys. Yep. Some of them since kindergarten. Right. Which is fairly unique, I think, in rivalries around the state. But the big thing you have to remember is that you can throw. This is very cliche sounding. You can throw records out the window, just like last week. Nobody was falling into the trap of Trinity being 1 and 2. No, right. They're still a great football team. They lost to some tremendous football teams who happened to play better on that particular night. But the same with Grapevine. They're 1 and 3, but the 3 teams that have beaten them have only lost 1 game between them. 2 undefeated teams and one team that's only lost 1. So they're a very good football team. I watched them erase a 31-point deficit in a matter of like 4.5 minutes against a good Garland-Saxey team, an undefeated Saxey team. So they're not ever going to give up. They're not ever going to, if we do happen to get out to a fast start, we can't let up. If we get behind early, we can't let up. It's just got to be like I always preach. It's got to be the next play, the next series, and playing as hard as we possibly can, and preparing the very best we can to control what we can control, which is our effort and our execution and our the way we work as a team.
You worry about distractions with a game like this, or does this crosstown rivalry really get the guys more focused?
I think it's probably gets them more focused. I think both teams would probably be a little bit more focused than normal. I'm thankful that after the disappointment we had last week, I'm thankful that it is a big game that we have right now because, you know, not that anybody's easy, but if it was a team that was less well known or less, you know, less on our radar, so to speak, as far as history, there might be a tendency to have a little pity party throughout the week, which you know, in this game you can't have. You can't afford to have that. Thinking back, one of the things I told the kids is, you know, when you lose a game, that next Friday can't get here fast enough.
Right.
That's why it's so miserable when you lose the last game of the year. You get knocked out of the playoffs. There's no next Friday to go to. It's not. It's next year. It takes a while to get over that kind of loss. So Friday can't get here quickly enough. You know, thinking back through my career as a player and even as an assistant coach and head coach, some of the most rewarding and some of the best performances that I've been a part of have been after a big disappointment. You know, the next week after either getting killed by somebody we didn't think we should get killed by, or you know, losing a game we'd really hoped to win, or a rivalry game or something like that. Which, if you're in this long enough, you're gonna lose some.
Have a few of those.
It's just the nature of sports, but some of the best games I can remember have been after those things. So I see it in their eyes. They don't want to have a repeat of that performance, and like I mentioned, we're doing as a coaching staff. I put the blame squarely on my shoulders, first of all, for us not getting the job done. I'm going to make sure that our coaching staff does what we need to do to make it better, and then the rest is going to be on the players to decide to do it and decide to compete, use their encouragement with their teammates, and just play as a really close team with fanatical effort every play like we need to.
So yeah, we've got Battle of the Red Rail. I was saying, is that the right name?
That's the right name. That's the right
and
name.
I think this is it 3 or 4?
Here's the 4th.
So year 4, we've won it.
Or maybe it's the 3rd. This is.
Well, we won it every year
right.
since it's been out, and so we're hoping to, we're confident we'll bring that home again this year.
Right. It's you know, it's already got some stories, and I think with any kind of a trophy for a game like that, there 10, 15, 20 years from now, there will be probably several stories. My favorite is the story from last year. We came in from the game. Since it's been in existence, we brought it home that first night. Had to take it back to the stadium for the game the next year, and then after the game, we got it. Harrison Bohannon was walking in after the game, carrying it over his shoulders. The triumphal entry into the locker room, and his cleats hit that slick floor, fell out from under him, and it almost landed on his head, but it took a big chunk out of the floor, a big ding out of the trophy, and thankfully we didn't have to name it the Harrison Bohannon Memorial Trophy. But
good.
But yeah, it's got every year. In fact, today we've used that trophy and talked about it every day, and went through every year and what's happened. The first year was 1996. Grapevine won 56-0. There wasn't another shutout until 2010. We won 35-0. Every game, a lot of games have been close. The very next year, it went to 25-22 when Colleyville didn't have very many seniors even that year. But it's been a fiercely contested game almost every year. We expect it to be the same this week, so that's what we're prepared for.
Good. Well, thanks for your time. Thanks to Which, and we look forward to exciting Friday evening.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.